There's one cardinal rule in politics that once you identify your enemy, you must destroy them completely. And that's exactly what's happening in Jubilee Party. President Uhuru Kenyatta has identified the deputy president as his enemy and is doing everything possible to destroy him, politically speaking. And at the same time, the deputy president has also identified President Uhuru Kenyatta as his enemy. And the DP is doing everything possible to destroy President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that law is clearly captured in the 48 laws of power. If you read those 48 laws of power, law number 15 is very clear that you must destroy, you must crush your enemy completely. Because if you don't crush them completely, if you start fighting them and leave them with some space to breathe, when they come back, they will destroy you. So today I want us to look at the people around President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom the deputy president has identified and are destroying. I'm saying this because this kind of destruction is not very possible without a clear strategy. So the DP has laid a strategy on how he's going to destroy President Uhuru Kenyatta. And because he can't face President Uhuru Kenyatta directly, he must go through the other way. You can equate this to someone who wants to cut a big tree. If you want to cut a huge tree, you don't go directly and start cutting it. Like if you have a power saw, you don't just go directly and start cutting it. You must climb it. First of all, before climbing, you must identify the branches of that tree. Then cut those branches down. Once you cut the branches down, the tree will just remain standing. So if you want it to fall the other side, it will be easy for you to fall it the other side. If you want it to fall this side, without those branches, it will be easier for you to fall it that side. And this is what the DP has done. He's not going for Uhuru Kenyatta directly, but he's going to go for him in the near future. I'm starting with the DP because I know even Uhuru Kenyatta is going to deal with the DP and their strategies he has put in place. So the DP, in his own wisdom, cannot fight President Uhuru Kenyatta as at now. Because Uhuru has the power. He has everything. And he doesn't want to be seen to be fighting the president early enough. So the DP, in his own wisdom, has identified 5 key allies or 6 key allies of the president whom is going to deal with as soon as possible. So some of these people are political figures, some of them are not. So I want us to look at these 5 individuals whom the DP is going to deal with clearly in the next few months. Let's get to business. But before we do that, by the way, if you're bumping on this video for the first time, just take a second or two and subscribe so that next time we produce this kind of video, you automatically get notified. Now back to the main business. Who are these individuals and why is the DP planning to destroy them? Number 1 on that list is David Murathe. Sometimes I ask myself so many questions. Who is David Murathe? And why is he the biggest enemy of the deputy president, William Ruto? What sin did David Murathe ever commit to warrant the kind of attacks he's getting from the deputy president and his allies? Because remember, David Murathe is not a member of parliament. The last time David Murathe was in parliament was in 1997. Up to now, he's never been elected. And again, David Murathe has never held any serious government position so as to be a target. But why is David Murathe being targeted by the allies of the DP? David Murathe is being targeted because he's one of the key pillars of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Let me take you down the memory lane. David Murathe was first elected as a member of parliament for Gatanga constituency in 1997. So after he was elected, He caused a storm because he's used to controversy. He resigned. There was a letter which was submitted to the speaker that the member of parliament for Gatanga had resigned. And the rumor at that time was that David Murathe was broke and he resigned for SK Macharia. For those who know, SK Macharia is the owner of the royal media, that's Citizen and the rest. But again, after some time, that changed. He really didn't live to that. So he continued serving. So when we started bringing up Uhuru Kenyatta, because remember, even in 1997, Uhuru Kenyatta contested in Gatundu and was defeated. But David Murathe contested, Uhuru Kenyatta contested in his constituency of Gatundu South, but he was defeated. He contested on Kanu. David Murathe contested in Gatanga, not on DP and not on Ford Asili. He contested on SDP and he won. So when we started pushing for Uhuru Kenyatta, that one I think after 97, 98, around 2000 there, David Murathe was willing to resign as a member of parliament so that Uhuru Kenyatta could go to Gatanga and contest there, so that so that Moi or Kanu could now start pushing for that agenda of his presidency. But that did not happen. But the moment he offered to resign, that showed loyalty to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru Kenyatta now contested for the presidency in 2007, and David Murathe joined him. But when Uhuru Kenyatta was not planning to contest for real presidency, after learning his lessons, that one in after the post-election violence of 2008, 2009 there, he was facing the ICC, and he also wanted to contest for the presidency in 2012. Uhuru Kenyatta looked for one man called David Murathe, and he asked David Murathe to assemble for him a team. And David Murathe assembled a team for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's the team which gave birth to the likes of Johnson Sakaja. And it worked well. And then, when Uhuru was now about to launch his campaign, he formed what was called Uhuru Kenyatta Center, or UK Center. So David Murathe was based at that center. He was based there by a guy called J. Muturi, I think is the Solicitor General today. Then there was Bruce Odhiambo. For those who remember the late Bruce Odhiambo, he was a very good friend of President Uhuru Kenyatta, a former schoolmate of the president. And then there is Justin Muturi, the current Speaker of the National Assembly. So the Deputy President understands where Murathe came with the President. And because he understands where the Murathe came with the President, he's not taking lightly whatever David Murathe is saying. So when David Murathe says that the DP is going nowhere, the DP knows the power of David Murathe. And as a matter of fact, the moment Uhuru was now decided now to leave Kanu and joined TNA, through the help of Murathe and the team I mentioned, once he decided to do that, and then they started now entering into some arrangement with Ruto, David Murathe was the only guy amongst this team who was not comfortable with Uhuru Kenyatta working with William Ruto. So it's a man that the DP must figure out how to destroy. How he's going to achieve that, I still don't know. The second guy in that list is Rafael Tuju. Rafael Tuju is the Secretary General of Jubilee Party. I kept on asking myself, Uhuru Kenyatta had a political party called TNA. TNA had very young and vibrant officials. There was Johnson Sakaja, who was the chairman. Then there was Onyango Olo, who did a splendid job for President Uhuru Kenyatta. Onyango Olo was the Secretary General and was very young. So when Uhuru Kenyatta merged TNA, dissolved TNA to form Jubilee Party, and Rafael Tuju was appointed the Secretary General, I asked myself several questions during that time. Why would they replace Onyango Olo and Rafael Tuju? But Uhuru Kenyatta, there's something which Uhuru Kenyatta knew, which probably some of us did not know at that particular time. Now let us go back a bit to the history of Rafael Tuju. Rafael Tuju was first elected as a member of parliament for Arieda on LDP ticket in 2002. Then Rafael Tuju shocked Kenyans when he was appointed the Minister for Information and Communications. The ODM as a political, the LDP as a political party, which was the dominant party in Nyanza at that time, did not recommend the name of Rafael Tuju. Tuju was appointed by Mwai Kibaki directly. Then after some point, he was also appointed the Minister for Tourism. Then around 2005, Rafael Tuju now started showing signs of rebelling against Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga was now shifting his politics from Mwai Kibaki to his role. So Rafael Tuju remained when Raila Odinga now decided to leave, to operate kivyake away from Mwai Kibaki. Rafael Tuju remained with Mwai Kibaki. And then, because the politics in Nyanza was so versatile, hostile, that particular party could not, Mwai Kibaki's party could not be sold in Nyanza, Rafael Tuju formed his own political party, which was called Progressive People's Party. And that went like that. That election was conducted. Rafael Tuju was defeated at the polls. But after he was defeated at the polls, again, Mwai Kibaki, 2008 up to 2011, he worked for Kibaki as an advisor on issues to do with the media. So probably that's how they started working with President Uhuru Kenyatta and they developed trust. I don't know. And Rafael Tuju was the biggest enemy of Raila Odinga in Nyanza. Then towards 2012 election, Rafael Tuju formed a political party called Party of Action. Then all of a sudden, when TNA was merging to form Jubilee Party with URP and other political parties, Rafael Tuju from nowhere became the Secretary General of that party. He's been loyal to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And when Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta had the handshake, when they had that handshake, most people had expected Rafael Tuju to rebel, because Rafael Tuju and Raila Odinga were not seeing eye to eye. But Rafael Tuju shocked Kenya when he became the first people to endorse that handshake and became a key pillar and a key player in that handshake, to an extent that the allies of the DP referred to Tuju as an advisor to the ODM party leader. And of course, in politics, there are no permanent enemies. So Rafael Tuju is currently a key ally of Raila Odinga. He's also a key ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And because he's a key ally of these two people, William Ruto and his allies don't trust him. And because he's the custodian of Jubilee political party and the documents, as this being the Secretary General, it is clear that these guys must ensure that he's kicked out of that office. So Rafael Tuju will be kicked out. If Rafael Tuju will be protected by Uhuru Kenyatta, then the deputy president and his team will have to leave Jubilee Party. So Rafael Tuju is the second person these guys are planning to kick out. Number 3, the third person is a very interesting guy, Ndugu Francis Atwoli. Atwoli is not a politician. Atwoli is the Secretary General of Koto. But Atwoli generally is coming out as one of the key opponents of the deputy president William Ruto. And from all the indications, Atwoli is now coming out as someone who speaks the minds of Uhuru Kenyatta in the political circles. Before Kenyans had the handshake, it is Atwoli who spoke about the handshake. Indeed, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had the handshake. Atwoli was very clear that hao wawili wafungiwe ndani, waongee kivyao, wakuwe na handshake. Indeed, that's what happened. Raila and Uhuru had the handshake, the two of them. Then Atwoli was also the first person to start talking about Uhuru Kenyatta being young. So it was Atwoli, nobody else, that the president is too young to retire. That Uhuru akiretire atenda wapi? So he was basically speaking the mind of the system. And you see, as he was speaking this, the DP was listening. Atwoli was also the guy, the first person to say the DP will not be the president of the Republic of Kenya. So the DP and his allies have been listening to Ndugu Francis Atwoli. And Atwoli is very influential in Western Kenya politics. He has the ability to bring leaders together in Western Kenya. And that's why the DP and his team will do everything possible, everything possible, to ensure that Atwoli is rendered irrelevant if he won't be destroyed completely. So Atwoli is number 3. At number 4 is Ann Waiguru. Why is Ann Waiguru? Ann Waiguru must also be destroyed. Why? Because she is emerging as a force from central Kenya. And I've repeated this severally, that Ann Waiguru might not be the popular candidate in central Kenya today. She might not be the popular politician from central Kenya today. She might not even be the popular politician from Kirinyaga, where she comes from today. But if you take all the central Kenya leaders together and put them on a scale at the national level, you will be surprised that Ann Waiguru is scoring high. But again, why is the DP targeting Ann Waiguru? If you ask me, very simple. Ann Waiguru is a very close ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta. When Uhuru had the handshake, nobody expected Ann Waiguru, who was a key opponent of Raila Odinga, to embrace it. But Ann Waiguru was the first to embrace it, the first governor, Jubilee governor, to go and visit Raila Odinga at his home, at his office in the Capitol Hill. So it tells you a lot. So the DP is well aware because he works in the government. He's been working with Uhuru Kenyatta, so you understand how Uhuru Kenyatta operates. And as a matter of fact, the DP understand that Uhuru Kenyatta fears confrontation. And that's why anytime Uhuru has an issue, he confronts him, and Uhuru pulls back. So they know that Ann Waiguru probably, Uhuru Kenyatta is communicating through Ann Waiguru. And if not that, then a serious politician should not emerge from central Kenya, because the DP has a lot of political interest in central Kenya. So we must ensure that Ann Waiguru is destroyed. And I cannot tell you for sure that Ann Waiguru impeachment has been ongoing in Kirinyaga. It's going to be escalated. Not because Ann Waiguru has done any serious mistake or saying no, but it's all because of 2022 politics. Number 5. Who is the 5th person? Fred Okengo Matiangi. So Fred Matiangi will also be destroyed, because Fred Matiangi is now coming out as a very forceful individual in Kenya. And Kenyans have been saying that Fred Matiangi is one of the cabinet secretaries who has delivered on the mandates. And Kenyans were already claiming that they can even vote for Fred Matiangi. And within the political circles, there's this talk that Fred Matiangi could actually be the compromise candidate. The compromise candidate for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. And I've always told you here that we guys must start monitoring the man called Fred Okengo Matiangi. And because of that, because of the potential of becoming the president, the potential of becoming a compromise candidate, the DP must ensure that Fred Okengo Matiangi is dealt with once and for all, politically speaking. But how he's going to do that is a bit difficult, because Fred Okengo Matiangi is currently one of those ministers who are loved by Kenyans. Currently, Fred Okengo Matiangi has one of the most important ministries in the Republic of Kenya. And lastly, just as a bonus, is a man called Karanja Kibicho. Karanja Kibicho will also find it rough moving forward, not because of anything, but because he's considered a very key ally of the president, a man who's been frustrating the DP in all angles, giving instructions to county commissioners, frustrating the DP, denying him his office money, and things like those. So in my view, the DP has identified those people to deal with. But ultimately, the target is President Uhuru Kenyatta. But what he's doing now is cutting those branches. And as a matter of fact, even the president on the other side is not sleeping. I know he's also doing something. And probably in the next video, I'm going to highlight for you the strategies which the president is also using to deal with the deputy president. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time again, I want to ask you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel would not be where it is today. Thank you, and please, may you have a good day.